segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
I'll speak for myself. I never thought that I would be offering an apology to Jeffrey Epstein. I think of all the times I've maligned that guy, all the times I've accused him of crimes, of blackmailing people, of trafficking children to powerful figures around the world on behalf of global intel services. And then I learned yesterday from Attorney General Pam Bondi, that's totally untrue.
Yes, yeah.
The guy killed himself after 36 days in prison for no reason. He was a billionaire. Mm-hmm. He had no clients. He'd done nothing wrong other than get like naughty massages 20 years before. And the guy killed himself, another pointless death. And then his best friend, former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, doing 20 years in prison for no crime. There are no victims.
Yes, it's a victimless crime. They're obviously persecuted by the state.
Yes.
They're political prisoners, really. It's The Hague should come in and do an investigation, or we're watching one of the most systematic government cover-ups of all time.
Blackmail plays an integral role, and I've been at this for 21 years, and Epstein had cameras in all of his homes. I mean, Epstein was definitely a blackmail artist. And the government wants to make sure that does not come out, that a huge part of our political system is predicated on blackmail. And especially if that dark, malignant corner of the intelligence that is using blackmail against our politicians and other people, if they were using children, I mean, that would make the American people erupt. So that's why that Wikipedia page is locked down. And that's why this is important. This is, for that dark corner of intelligence, this is Omaha Beach. They're not going to give an inch because this is the last thing that they want out. And it's amazing how the Epstein scandal has been covered up. If you look at all the victims and all the perpetrators and all the procurers involved in the Epstein network, I mean, we're talking score, and the people that facilitated it, like the pilots and like Epstein's house managers and the cooks and everybody else. We're talking scores and scores of people, and no one's been indicted except for Ghislaine Maxwell. And that really shows that our government, unfortunately, wants to stop it there. Our government does not, I mean, although Americans do, I think, are coming around to the belief that Epstein was taking part in blackmail, or a lot of them, it doesn't make sense. Why is our government aiding and abetting child trafficking? And unless they're protecting some very powerful people and a political process, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way that it makes sense.
Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark, hired Dr. Baden, who is world renowned for his skills as a forensic pathologist, who conducted an autopsy on Jeffrey Epstein and came out of the autopsy saying this was a murder. He has a bone that was fractured in the front of his throat that gets, basically, it gets broken typically when you've been strangled, not, I guess, when you hang yourself. And there were other indications by Dr. Baden that led him to say this was not a suicide. This doesn't look like a suicide. So, and there were other questions too that Jeffrey Epstein's brother has been raising. So it's like, it's more than just right-wing nuts, as like some in the press would have you believe, Tom, who are saying, wait. And on top of all that, you've got the Bondi statements over and over. The one saying, she didn't say the file's on my desk. She was asked specifically about the client list, and she said, it's on my desk right now. Then a week later, she promised Jesse Waters she was about to dump some sort of information dump that we were all going to be really interested in. The next day was the influencer debacle at the White House, where for some reason she invited some of the president's most loyal supporters and tried to humiliate them by giving them Epstein file marked binders which had nothing new in them. It was all publicly released information that had already been out there. Then she acted indignant. She didn't know it was the sleazy FBI who had withheld the real documents from her. She was going to get to the bottom of it. Then she said further release would come. One did not come. Then she was caught on tape saying there are tens of thousands of kiddie porn or child pornography material that we found, which again is like a third issue over here. And next thing we know, there's no there.
Welcome to Truth with JJ Carrell. This coupled with the amnesty push is going to destroy MAGA. I don't care. Like Ann Vandersteel said yesterday on our show, call us whatever you want. Call us panicins. Give us any name, far-right extremists. Call us whatever you want. We're just sitting here saying out loud to our audience, all this is wrong. All of it. And now we're being called names. Panicking, far right. I can't believe Trump said the other day, I can't believe that you're even asking me about this Epstein guy. Why is this so big? Because Epstein represents every single thing we voted for Donald Trump for. We voted for Donald Trump for justice. We wanted the elites, the powerful, that have broken laws, that have done unspeakable horrors and evils. We wanted them brought to justice. That meant turning over the Epstein files, whatever that includes, and I want it all turned over, all of it. Because powerful people, the most powerful, the most wealthy, the most influential, were on his island raping children. And I want them arrested. I want their money and houses seized if they could tie it to any kind of business deals that they made connected to that island. I want it all done. And for our president to say, that's not worth it. The people in Texas, we need to worry about the people in Texas. Sir, I can walk and chew gum at the same time. Obviously, you can too, because you're talking about amnesty. You're talking about the Texas children and the floods. You're talking about the deep state. So you can do it. I can do it. Mr. President, you are losing your base. Men and women like myself that fought for you, that have been from day one from you came down that escalator, we're like, okay, I'm for him. I'm for him. From 2016, all of the Russia hoax, all the impeachments, we were there for you. Stealing the election, 2020, we demand answers. We still don't have any answers right now. We still don't have anybody arrested, and nobody, even the left, is not even touching it because they know. We're going into month 7, month 8. We do not have one single arrest of anybody. We didn't vote for this. We voted for you to upend the apple carts, the money changers, everything that is wrong in the government. We expected you to do it. Low-hanging fruit, sir. Epstein, I want it all out. Who are you protecting? That's the question I have to ask. Why are you soft playing this? I don't understand. It's so not you. It's so not you to be so wrong on reading the room. This Epstein is exploding. Why? Why is this so big and powerful? Because our side, the side that we thought was going to fight for us, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they're all lying to us right now. They're lying. There's tens of thousands of videos. No, they're not. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of victims. No, they're not. There's going to be, the FBI hid all this information. No, they didn't. There's massive blackmail going on. The man had multiple homes throughout the globe and in the United States, mansions, all with cameras throughout the houses. He's a blackmailer. No, he's not. The lie is so big It's so in your face. What do I make of this lie? I make this lie to me is what has been going on for probably the beginning of time, but at least the last 100 years in America. The powerful are letting you know, Americans, that we know we're lying, you know we're lying, but I'm lying to you to do two things. I'm lying to you because I want you to understand you're insignificant. You have no power. We retain all of the power, and we are going to wield it the way we want. And secondly, this message, this lie, is basically a message to all of the people implicated in this child trafficking, in this blackmail, in this Mossad, in this CIA operative, Jeffrey Epstein. We got your back. Nothing's going to happen to you. Remain silent. Do not panic. We have it under control. I really believe that. I've spent the last probably several months thinking about this, and then the last 2 days after this exploded on Sunday, just sitting down, thinking about this analytically, removing my passion, child sex trafficking, the injustice of the elites, doing whatever the hell they want, whenever they want, looking at P. Diddy and Epstein being exonerated, if you will, on the same weekend, the Prime Minister of Israel showing up the day after, seeing everything happen, seeing Donald Trump make fun of us, disparage the far right, then going on yesterday in a cabinet meeting and blasting a reporter. I'm going to show you this video in a second. And just thinking about this from a very analytical law enforcement perspective, because that's where my expertise lies. And I have a very, very baseline litmus test, if you will, before I dig into anything, is I look at all the information that I can get, and then I look at it from a very common sense perspective. How does this make sense? Where are the gaps in this narrative that maybe are true, that can be filled in these gaps, and that can change my mind? That maybe I don't have everything in the puzzle. So maybe these pieces will explain to me why this is happening. When I can't find those pieces of the puzzle or fill in those gaps, then I have to go another way in my common sense. Why are there gaps? Why do I, on the base level, immediately go to corruption cover-up? And then I take a long route around trying to disprove my initial response or my initial belief. Maybe you're wrong, JG. Maybe you're emotionally tied to it. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe the other. And then I could systematically go through it and go, no, that makes no. This is what you believe. And there's multitude of reasons why I believe this. And a significant percentage of my belief is my gut. What does my 24 years experience, what does writing books and research and doing documentaries and finding the truth, what does all that experience make me feel and believe and believe is the truth? I've gone throughout my life where I've kind of discarded that and said, okay, no, I need to have more analytical. And then I got to the point, well, no, I believe this is something God has built in me, that I believe has been proven over my lifetime to myself, that my gut, if you will, is almost spot on every time. And there are times where I have no explanation. I can't articulate it. I just can't articulate it because I don't have all the information, but my gut says the information I have, coupled with my experience, I believe that this is the reason. Maybe there's 3 reasons, maybe there's 2, or maybe this is the only explanation I can give you from my gut, and this is it. And I'm telling you, I sit down and I go through this over and over and over again, and I come to my own conclusion. And then the final piece of my puzzle, just as a verification, like a confirmation of what I believe, I begin to listen to people that I trust that have been right on many, many things, many controversial things in the past. People that I know have access to information and people that I don't have. And I have over time seen that they're true. And over time, I have seen that they're charlatans. I'll give you an example of someone that I don't trust at all anymore, Ben Shapiro. Zero trust. Zero. He is 100% Israel, 100% of the time. He has made statements that are so crazy, so outlandish. I'll give you an example. Stop talking about Epstein. Who cares? He didn't have money, didn't blackmail, he didn't rape children. It's all a lie. Just forget about it. That's one. Number two, JFK was assassinated. Nobody cares. It's as important as Abraham Lincoln or Hamilton, whoever got shot, that it has that relevance to me. And right there, I was like, okay, that's not intellectually dishonest. Those are blatant propaganda lies, because he's way smart guy. He can regurgitate information at nauseum forever. He's absolutely a brilliant mind. Granted. But when you make statements like that negates all your intellect, because now I know you're a propaganda arm. But I go and I look at these, I go and I listen to people, I read their articles to just get confirmation, or does it contradict my beliefs? And now I'm at maybe another new crossroads, or something that they said or wrote about that makes me think I didn't even think of it in that terms. Maybe I need to reinvestigate it through that lens. But I'm telling you, I have watched in the last 16 hours, 24 hours, this Epstein explode. And why it's even more powerful this time around is because everyone has the information. Everyone has the receipts. We have the interviews. We have the people, what they've said, coroners have said, people that were inside this machine have spoken. We have all of this information, all of this data, and people now are reposting all of it again, debunking the lie from Pam Bondi and the DOJ. And this is going to rip MAGA apart, because it's not Epstein. It's everything he represents. The fraud, the elitism, the unjust, the child trafficking, the cabal of evil in the world. And you're telling me to shut up and sit down. There's nothing to see here. You stupid right-wingers. You stupid far-right people. No. I'm watching people, colleagues, I would say now in the media, in the podcast world, in the alternative media, if you will. They're not shutting up. They're just saying it exactly how it is. And I have to be in that group to just say it as it is, knowing that there's going to be massive pushback. I don't care. I've never cared, and I definitely don't care anymore. If there was a meter on how much I care, the meter's gone. You can't even, why even have a meter? Because I'm like in the if there's a way to go negative, I'm negative, like a gas tank. If there's a way to go past D, I'm past D. I just don't care. I am so, and I have felt, just on a personal note, I have felt this way. I want to say maybe a little bit before I joined the Border Patrol, but absolutely when I joined the Border Patrol and got inside law enforcement and had friends and worked in task forces with local PDs, sheriffs, other federal agencies. And I saw that the problems, the injustice was not just in the Border Patrol, was not just in the FBI, was not just in the ATF or San Diego Police or LAPD or the sheriffs, LA County sheriffs or the DPS in Texas and Arizona. No. We all shared the same damn problems. It's because our law enforcement system is corrupted. There is no more law and order. There's no lady with a covering her eyes, so so it's just Lady Liberty, and there's a scale, and she doesn't know what color skin you have or your ability, financial abilities, how good your lawyer is, wearing a nice suit as a public attorney. No. There's no blindfold over the lady's eyes. There isn't. It's a lie. I'm telling you, I lived it. It's an effing lie. That's why people have had it. That's why people are irate about Jeffrey Epstein. And I have been feeling this way, a feeling of unjust, a feeling of there is never going to be true justice. And maybe that's part of the faith and what we're promised, that when you go to heaven, there will be justice. But I'm going to tell you that this is something I have struggled my whole adult life. I don't want to wait till I die to get justice. Meaning, there has to be some form of righteous justice and judgment in our lives, or we just are living in the Matrix. We're just living in a fantasy world created, and you are just supposed to go to work and pay your taxes and be a host so the parasites can suck off us. Life really gets down to that nitty-gritty. Logan, can you play this clip that's now gone beyond viral of Donald Trump dismissing Epstein? And this is basically the grenade happened yesterday that exploded, and now it is exploding across MAGA and the far right, and we've had it. Can you play this one, please?
And released yesterday in Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the staff?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the top.
Listen, two questions. Why is Donald Trump mocking us and acting as if this is not a big deal? And two, do you trust anything Pam Bondi just said? Does she deliver a sense of power and honesty? Before I show you this next clip and talk about my sponsor, please support our sponsors. Allow us to be able to speak this way and to talk about these topics, because you're not going to find this basically anywhere else. And that's sat123.com. And I want you to go to sat123.com/JJ. And I want you to be prepared. Like, there's stuff in there that you need. You need generators. You absolutely have to have generators. You have to have a sat phone, excuse me. You have to have a backpack. You have backpacks. You have carry. So why not get one with a ballistic shield that's in it? You don't have to agree with me on anything that I'm saying. But you need, or it must agree, that you have to be prepared, because the world is changing rapidly and we have no idea what's going on. There is a feeling in America as if things are going sideways, or at the best, we feel uneasy and we can't put our finger on it. You must be prepared. I would rather be prepared for a fight and not have to fight than have to fight and not be prepared. It's like me going out into the field on duty. I go on duty and I don't check my duty belt. And I go out in the field with no gun. Or I go out in the field with, I'm missing my magazines to be able to reload my weapon. Or I don't have my battery, my flashlight doesn't work, and now it's night and I'm clearing a house, or I'm walking in the trails or walking in the woods trying to find someone and I have no flashlight. I need to be prepared. Back in the day, there was times where I had no radio comms. None. I would have killed to have a sat phone to be able to communicate between me and my partners in the desert, out on the beach, in the coastline, in the middle of nowhere. I would absolutely had this. I would have absolutely purchased these and handed it out to my team. Go to sat123.com and be prepared. sat123.com/JJ. Now let's go to, this is Patrick Bet-David on Jesse Waters' show. And he's going to say what I absolutely believe. Donald Trump has made a very, very bad calculation on the importance of Epstein. Play this for me, Logan.
Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. Number 2 is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why? So why does his leadership team go out there and like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this? All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown.
The only part of that I don't agree is I don't think it's 20% of the voters. I think it's 80 or more. 80% of the voters or more wanted to know what the hell's going on. And how do I know this? Because across all segments of society, I'm looking at my X feed, I'm looking at YouTube, I'm watching on my websites, and I'm watching small influencers with hardly anybody to, I would say I'm kind of medium. And then there's a whole nother leap from me of the medium to high, and then the very high influencers. So all spectrums of life are talking about this, and they're mad. So I love Patrick Bet-David. I love his podcast. I think he's a brilliant, successful man, but he's wrong on that. It ain't 20%, my friend. You can't have 2 million or whatever trending on X hashtags and say, well, that's 20%. That's not 20%. No. And you know how I also know that this is huge? Have you heard anything from the Democrats? Have you heard anything from the Democrats? They should be pouncing on this. But why won't they? Because all of their massive leaders, contributors, money people have been to Epstein Island, have partaken in the pedophilia. And before you tell me, before you go down that road, that, well, not everybody that went to Epstein Island was conducted himself in pedophilia. Maybe that is true. But what would you say if I came to you and said, hey, there's this guy that has an island in Hawaii. He's going to fly us on a private jet, and we're going to go hang out for a couple days. And your first question, as mine would be, well, who is this guy? Oh, his name is Jeffrey Epstein. Well, what does he do? Well, I don't really know. He's just a billionaire. But what I do know is he's been convicted of sex with a minor, and he's a registered sex offender pedophile. You ready to go? No, I'm not going to visit some dude that's a pedophile. Not going to do it. But all of these people, knowing that he was convicted pedophile in Florida, traveled and went to all his parties, stayed at his island, came in on flights, came in on boats, came in on helicopters. I just talked about the lowest level, somebody that no one knows about is talking about Epstein. Here's somebody talking about Epstein that's not a nobody, that has tens of millions of people that watch his videos, has immense amount of power in society today, and that's Tucker Carlson. Let's listen to his take.
The DOJ, the current DOJ under Pam Bondi is covering up crimes. Very serious crimes by their own description. Mm-hmm. Why are they doing that?
Yeah.
So there are really only two potential explanations that I can think of. Maybe you've got another. The first is that Trump is involved, that, Trump is on the list, that they've got tape of Trump doing something awful. I don't believe that for two reasons. One, I've talked to Trump about it a lot. And I know him. He's not that, for whatever his sins. I don't think he's that guy, actually. I don't think he likes creepy sex stuff. That's just my view. But more, I think, convincing is that this is all information that the Biden administration had. And if there was evidence that Trump had been involved in illegal sexual activity, you think the people who made up Russiagate wouldn't have leaked it?
Right.
Come on now. So the only other explanation that I can think of, again, maybe you've got another, is that intel services are at the very center of this story, U.S. and Israeli, and they're being protected. I think that seems like the most plausible.
That's the most obvious. They have a history of this. There have been multiple documented cases of pedophilia inside of the CIA perpetrated by CIA officers, documented that in many of those cases, I believe over a dozen cases, this was a BuzzFeed news piece years back, where the CIA specifically did not want to prosecute those individuals in federal court for fear that they would reveal sources and methods if they were pulled into open court. And they basically just made it go away. The only time they actually prosecuted somebody for child pornography pornography was whenever he'd already being prosecuted for mishandling classified information.
Well, when they want to crush you, they put kiddie porn in your computer. It's why I don't have a computer. Don't own one.
If you're an important person, you should be careful.
No computer in my house.
This is an important thing, though, is that we already have documented cases of them covering this up. I believe the CIA Inspector General, I forget the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of, you wouldn't even believe the amount of child porn, that I've seen while I'm on this job.
Let's listen to what that man said. How do we know the CIA, what he said is true, that the CIA has been involved in pedophilia and child porn and all the evils? Well, I've interviewed multiple people. One, Dr. Juliet Engel, who was in Sex Magic, the MK Ultra. MK Ultra was shown in 1975 in the Church Commission that the CIA, yes, sexually destroyed thousands of children and women, destroyed adult lives using drugs. Well, who did that? Well, our government brought all the Nazi scientists by thousands from Nuremberg into America, changed their names, gave them new identities, and put them in NASA, into research development, into our education system. Yeah, no. This isn't crazy talk. This isn't, hey, oh my God, Jay just going off the rails. No. This is already in congressional testimony. Congressional testimony. There it is, MK Ultra. And you know what they said to CIA? Don't you destroy that. And then later on this interview with Tucker Carlson and multitude of others, the Dulles brothers, who Dulles Airport is named after, went and destroyed all of the documentation of MK Ultra with the promise that, oh, okay, you caught us, we'll never do that again. Wait, you're never going to do what again? You're never going to go get Nazi scientists that were doing experiments on Jews and all kinds of other people, and you're not going to bring them to America and then turn them loose into America again? Please do not ever tell me, if you ever meet me, that I'm wrong about the federal government being evil and the enemy of the people. Do not. I don't want to be around anybody that is that stupid. I don't want to be around them. If you don't believe the government, the federal government, is evil to the core, and they are the enemy of the people, I don't know what to tell you. In fact, get off me, stop watching me, go watch MSNBC or listen to Joe Biden mumble on and about blah, blah, blah. I don't care, but just get away from me. Lord Almighty, we are living in some of the darkest times. We are living in a time where the truth is actually a lie. The lie is the truth. Night is day and day is night. Black is white and white is black. We have no idea what the truth is anymore. But your gut does. Your gut tells you everything is not right. Everything doesn't make sense. How can I make more money today, like actual numbers of dollars more today, and have less wealth than I had 10 years ago? Have you asked yourself that? Have you asked yourself how you don't get ahead? Like, you just can't seem to get ahead. Look, this isn't just a personal thing. I'm having these discussions with hundreds, if not thousands of people. You can't get ahead. But the elites doubled, tripled, quadrupled, 10 times their money, their wealth in the last decade. Wait a minute. The elites and the powerful have become more wealthy, and everyone else in America is struggling? Here's someone else that has, and this is about this interview, I want to say maybe a year, maybe less, but I think it is less. So let's listen to what Elon Musk has to say, because he's throwing his hat into this. He said the reason why we're not finding out the Epstein files is because Trump's on them. I don't believe that. I don't believe Trump's involved, but this is a man with undisputed amount of power, wealth, and influence. Let's listen to Elon Musk, and I think there's a bad word in there. If you can please bleep that out, Logan, now or in editing, that's fine. But go ahead and play Elon Musk talking about the Epstein files.
Rightly frustrated if no one is prosecuted for the Epstein client list, no one at all, which, no one, is, like at least, I don't know, the top 5 or something, like some number. There should at least be an attempted prosecution of the worst offenders.
Well, particularly if Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail for sex trafficking.
Yes.
Because, trafficking
that means sex trafficking occurred.
Right. So she's in jail for it.
Yes.
So
who were the clients?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you put someone in jail and you don't even name the clients? That sounds kind of insane.
I think, yes, it would. Yes. Because
Just stunning that they've been able to hold it back for so long. It's really kind of amazing.
Yes.
Like when people say that people can't keep secrets, what the are you talking about? Look at this.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of these things are not like, it's common knowledge, but we don't actually have the proof.
Right.
So the proof is there. I mean, there's lots of videos. Yeah, there's lots. I mean, the dude is like a mountain of whenever they raided Epstein's place, there would have been like a mountain of evidence. Where is that mountain?
Right. What'd you do with it?
Yes. Like who took possession of the evidence?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Right.
The individuals.
Where are the tapes?
Yes.
How many left?
That's a great point that Elon Musk said. And I want to follow it up with this. He's absolutely right. It's a chain of custody. It's actually physically written down. Like written down. I walk into an evidence room. I don't walk in by myself. It's forbidden. I can't. It's evidence. It gets tainted. So somebody has to walk in with me. I have to write it down, time stamp it. I came in at this time. Not, I came in around noon. Nope. I walked in and I signed my name at 12:01. I left at 12:43. Not 12:45-ish, 12:43. That's how you have to write it down. My name has to be legible. I can't just, John, my name's John. John Carrell. Everyone has to be able to read it. So to tell me what happened to the evidence, well, I don't know. I don't. No, you do know because it's written down. So let's start calling in everybody that signed their names to the evidence and ask them what happened. You were there. You were the last people to touch this. And now you'll get people to speak honestly and the truth. Well, yeah, I was there. It was there on this date at this time, and I left. Okay, next person. You came in. Was that evidence there? No, it wasn't. So this is the time frame where it was stolen, taken away out of the evidence room, the evidence locker. Well, so between you two, I should be able to look at videos to see who's walked in there at that time. Oh, dear God, the videos don't exist. And now the investigation begins. One of our sponsors, Shop Bella Grace, bellagrace.com. I want you to go to their website, look at their testimonials, read the reports on their products, hundreds of products. The products that I use are their sleep restorative gummies that help me sleep at night when I'm dealing with this kind of crap, child sex trafficking, to get my mind to calm down. But the other thing I use is their elixir. I did a 30-day trial on it. It has collagen in it. It helps with hair, skin, nails, and your gut. Everything revolves around your gut and your inflammation. All of your medical problems are due to inflammation, or the vast majority of them. If you can somehow control the inflammation, then you control your health. This is why I use the products at Bella Grace. So please go to shopbellagrace.com and use /truth. Shopbellagrace.com/truth. Now let's go from Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk, and let's go to somebody that is, honestly, when this popped up, I haven't thought of this woman maybe ever. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Cindy McCain, John McCain's wife. Listen to her talk about Jeffrey Epstein. Think about how far. Look, what's John McCain? He's been dead a decade? At least 7 years, I believe. This is how far back this goes to Miss McCain's knowledge of Jeffrey Epstein. Listen to this. Play this, Logan, please.
That's right. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing. But we had no one that was, legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him. For whatever reason, they were afraid of him. All of a sudden, someone said, BS. We're not afraid of you anymore, and what you're doing is not only wrong, it's illegal, it's, all those things. It's like a house of cards now. It's going to start tumbling, believe me. And these guys, if they don't leave the country, number one, they're going to get caught, and they're going and they, not only will they get caught, but they're going to be made examples of. And that's exactly what we should be doing with these guys, especially.
What do you think she knows? What level do you think her husband, John McCain, who was in the Senate for decades, who I can't stand? Do I applaud him for his military service and being a POW and suffering atrocities I can't imagine and feeling that kind of torture? Absolute, incredible respect, and I give him the respect due. However, you don't get a mulligan year after year after year after year being a incredibly terrible senator and vindictive senator. Why do we have Obamacare still this day? Is because John McCain was the deciding vote and voted to keep Obamacare to spite Donald Trump. Can you imagine what access to information John McCain had? You think he didn't pillow talk to his wife and unload some of those horrible things that he had to digest? Absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. I'm just looking at my video lineup to see, is this something I want to show? And I'm going to have to show it because it kind of ties everything together. And it's a clip on Alex Jones talking to Nick Fuentes. And Alex Jones has been having some incredible takes lately today, all through today, on this. And if you discount anything that Alex Jones says, then you have not been paying attention for a very, very long time. This man has, I believe, incredible sources, an incredible way to digest information and then put it out in a digestible form to where the average person can hear it and understand it. But to listen to him and to ignore him, I believe it is being intellectually dishonest. And Nick Fuentes is talking about MAGA's over. Do I believe MAGA's over? No. Do I believe MAGA is could be over if this continues, coupled with amnesty? Yes. Yes, I do. And I think there will be a massive split in the American public, and there will be a third party rise up, and I believe that it will destroy the politics in America, and it will cause absolute chaos. But looking outside of today and stop looking in the American present, that is one of our big problems, is focusing on the present and not looking at 2, 3, 5 steps down the road. If Epstein goes and nothing is done, it's not going to fade away. It's going to create a division in MAGA. You begin to create amnesty, work projects, whatever the hell you want to call it. You're going to split MAGA, and you're going to lose MAGA. And that MAGA is going to create their own party. Or somebody's going to fill that vacuum and pull aside legitimately or through propaganda, pull a third, a half, 3/4 of MAGA away. And now you have a third party. Now the Democrats will win. Why do you think the Democrats are silent? Why do you think they're not trotting out their dumbest people in society, the dumbest people, AOC, Jalapal, even the leader, Hakeem's Jeffrey, the denture-wearing 90-year-old piece of garbage, Nancy Pelosi? Where is Auntie Maxine and her stupidity and her dumb, dirty wig? They've put everyone aside and said to everyone, shut up. The Republicans are killing themselves. So Fuentes does have some great points. I want to play that because I want to bring this total full circle from the beginning of the episode to the end. Donald Trump, Mr. President, all of your die-hard supporters have had it. We vote you in because we thought you were going to go scorched earth and give us justice. We feel no justice. In fact, I have to look at everything intellectually and honestly and say, sir, not one of these bastards have been arrested. How dare you? Play this, please, Logan.
Over, and I'm just done with him. It's because he's really betrayed us on a lot of the key issues already. I mean, this is the first 6 months of the second term. And the big question, which was hanging over people like you and me, and by that I mean people that are paying attention, we knew the problem from the first term is that he had bad personnel. And that's a fair problem to have. He's an outsider. He's inexperienced. He relied on Reince Priebus and Paul Ryan and these other people to basically run his first term. And it was a disaster. They had a horrible legislative agenda, and then they lost the midterms. You had personnel that were just disobeying and deceiving the president constantly. It seemed like it wasn't until 2020 when John McEntee came in at PPO that things really started to come together in any way, when they started building the wall, when they started doing some other initiatives, when you really even had any kind of semblance of competency in the administration. So the question was, is it going to be different? There's been this 4-year interregnum. Trump has kind of had to sleep on all of it. He had time in his first term to learn. He fought his way back from the dead, politically speaking. So the question was, will it be any different or will it be more of the same? Are we going to see a truly unprecedented level of achievement and change? Will there be this energy? Will there be this political will to do things that weren't possible before? And we're 6 months in, and the answer is no. It's being used for all the wrong things. Here we are 6 months in. We have done the corporate tax cut again. That was like the centerpiece of the big, beautiful bill, was to extend the 2017 tax cuts. And there's something in there for tip earners, but it's capped at $25,000. Is not great. It's a corporate tax cut, big deal. You have Trump bombing Iran, which is an immediate break in the promise of no new wars. There's going to be more of that down the line. We might touch on that later. He does this big program for deportations, but they're not happening. Already, we've had to fight tooth and nail for months to get them to commit to deporting people. They keep trying to resist this and say, no, we're going to do targeted enforcement. We're not deporting the farmers. We're going to give them an H-1A carve-out. We're going to do a work program. And then this Epstein thing. And I said this on my show last night. You had, and this isn't you, but this was a lot of people in 2024. They said, hey, just trust the plan. Just trust the plan. All you need to do is kind of be quiet and just unconditionally support Trump. Don't be too negative. Don't be too skeptical or critical. That will impede his plan and his progress. And yet, it's July of the first year, and all of his most dutiful surrogates are having to basically do damage control and lobby him every day to just do the basics. Don't do an amnesty. Don't go to war with Iran and have regime change. Don't do this Epstein cover-up. Like, this is every day now, and it's like the biggest pro-Trump influencers are having to lobby him and beg him every day. And for me, it's like, I'm out. I didn't sign up. We did this the first time. I mean, are you not tired? I remember in the first term, you know how it was. In the first term, we played this game, fighting the personnel, fighting all the terrible people in the PPO, the chief of staff, all the so-called bad guys in the cabinet. We were fighting them in the first term, trying to get people from the campaign into the administration.
He's right. Are you tired? I'm tired. We're all tired. We're all tired. Maybe this is it. We're all tired of fighting at the starting line. We're not fighting in the finish line, meaning we haven't found all the Jeffrey Epstein pedophiles and money laundering and Mossad and CIA. And so meaning we haven't got all the evidence and got all the people, and now we're fighting about, well, what do they do? Do they get the death penalty? Is it treason? Do they go to jail? How long are they going to go to jail? I would love that conversation. I would love to have that battle at the finish line. We're not. What are we going to do? How are we going to finish line of, okay, we got rid of the 50 million illegal aliens. What are we going to do? We're going to increase the annual $1.2 million to now 2.4 million. Are we going to double it? Are we going to bring in more H-1B1? How are we going to protect the American worker? I would love that discussion. I would love it. I would love. How can we stop giving money to all the foreign countries across the globe and start paving our damn roads? Could we build our hospitals? Could we build our airports? Could we do anything for America? We should be talking down the road saying, okay, we've stopped all the payments to foreign nations and all the stupidity we're doing. Now we're in the black. Now we have massive resources. Now let's have a discussion of what we should get involved with and what we should not. How about we are fighting at the finish line to finish it? No. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein. There's nothing to see. On the starting line, there's nothing to see. We're not talking about 50 million people being deported. We're talking about giving them effing amnesty. We're not talking about our budget problems, our foreign aid, our $36 trillion in debt. We're not even talking about, we're just said, sign this big, beautiful bill. Sign it. It's 1,000 pages. No one's read it. Sign it. One thing that we always talk about every Thursday tomorrow is Kim Yater comes on. We talk about take your power back. So I'm sitting here, I'm ranting, I'm pissed off. How do I take my power back? Well, I stopped giving all the box stores. I stopped giving my money to all of the companies that hate me. The companies that funded BLM to billions of dollars with a B, funded all the programs, all the organizations that hate America. The Tides Foundation, all the products that gave defund the police and defund ICE and No King's Day. Stop. How do you take your power back? You go to patriotsmade.com. You buy your products that you normally buy at the big box stores, from companies that hate you, and buy from a company that's American made on American soil, by Americans, sold to Americans. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Please support our sponsors. They keep us on the air. patriotsmade.com/JJ. I'll tell you one product that I use every day. This is my routine. I wake up, I work out, and I grab a power bar. Usually power bars are nasty. They're expensive. I don't. I grab my chocolate peanut butter from Patriots Made. No plastics. Nope. Can you believe I have to have this discussion? I'm championing a product because it doesn't have plastic in it. That right there encapsulates the insanity we live in. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. Eat a power bar on me that has no plastics in it. That's my pitch for Patriots Made. No plastic. That's crazy. My show's out of time. I spent the whole time on Epstein, not because of just what he's done, because it represents everything that's wrong in America. Everything's wrong in the world, but particularly America. I want to focus on America. How about we just do that? How about we put on racing blinders for 4 or 8 to 12 or 20 years, however long it takes, and all we make decisions on America. Israel, you get nothing. Mexico, you get nothing. Germany, nothing. China, nothing. No one gets anything. Nothing. I'm tired of driving throughout the country and driving on the crappiest roads in the world outside of third world countries. I'm tired of going to airports that look like slums. I'm tired of going to inner cities that are decimated. I'm tired. How about Make America Great Again is America first? Let's take back our country, period. Speak the truth, be bold, and stop being afraid of telling the truth.